to Sustainability Sunday on Monday. I actually recorded like the entire episode, well, thought I did, and then when I was editing it and getting ready to post it yesterday, realized that it had stopped recording at some point, and I was like, I guess I could either start recording from there, or I figured it would just be better to re-record the whole thing. So hence we are on Monday. But we ended up being an okay thing because I totally forgot about like a huge major eco swap for the kitchen, and we had already kind of moved out of the kitchen, but we are going to go back for one item. And also, if this is the first Sustainability Sunday video that you happen to click on, my name is Molly, and this is just a series that we do that is like a quick, I don't know, I think it's usually like 10 minutes maybe, just quick 10-minute discussion meant to keep it like a weekly engagement and thing that you're thinking about, because ultimately like that's the most sustainable thing you can do, is make it a lifestyle and not just something that you kind of do every once in a while when it becomes trendy or something. So we will go ahead and jump into it and start with that one kitchen item and then come back into like the bedroom, bathroom. It's actually going to be all bathroom stuff today. So in front of me here I have the items, and the one that we're going to start with the kitchen are brushes and stuff for doing dishes. Of course, this would be doing dishes by hand and not the dishwasher. I think we already talked about the dishwasher tablets, but these are just some really good eco swaps for doing things by hand instead of buying maybe like plastic brushes like this, or sponges. I didn't grab my sponges, but there are actually sponges that are made of more like sustainable materials, like, I don't know, or actually more like natural materials like walnut shells and stuff like that, stuff that's going to break down in, you know, in the environment, and you can probably like compost it instead of some other sponges that are probably made of more like plastic materials that are not going to break down when we throw them away. And these are the same thing. This is, both of these handles could be fully composted. This can be composted, and I believe this top can actually be composted too. This brand is Full Circle. Again, I don't necessarily know that it matters a specific brand that you're buying as long as it's an ethical one, and I'm probably sounding like a broken record at this point, but Earth Hero is, I think, the best place to kind of start looking for these eco swaps when you're not really sure what you're looking for, or if you just don't want to worry about like doing the research and stuff yourself. Earth Hero will, again, I know I've said it before, but kind of vet that entire production process, so you know that it's not from a company that's exploiting the animals, the people, the land where it's being produced. It's being like, the material is being produced and harvested in a more sustainable way, that sort of thing. So I believe I actually got both of these on Earth Hero, so check there the next time you need to go like buy a new sponge or a brush. Of course, use the stuff that you already have. Like if you have a plastic one of these brushes, keep using it until you like absolutely cannot. I'm not saying go throw that one away and go buy one of these, but the next time you do need to go buy something, consider something like this for a more, you know, more sustainable alternative. Now, I think we can move out of the kitchen again, and we are going to move into the bathroom, where I wanted to talk about toilet paper and alternatives to the regular toilet paper that, you know, we normally buy all the time, that comes from trees, which is obviously not the most sustainable way that we can do it. There are other materials that are a little bit more sustainable, like bamboo, which a lot of, I think this one actually is made out of bamboo, but there's also a lot of toilet paper that's made out of recycled materials, which is really great because it's taking stuff that we already have and using it instead of putting all of the energy and resources into growing a new material, for example. Because just because the bamboo is a more sustainable material, if it's not being harvested and produced in an ethical and sustainable way, it doesn't necessarily just make it a better choice just because it's bamboo. I hope that makes sense. But I often buy a lot of my toilet paper from Who Gives a Crap, and not always. If I don't if I need toilet paper and I need other stuff for my house too, I'll just place an order through like Thrive Marketplace and get it all in one shipment. Doesn't make sense to me to like get it from 2 different places if I already need to be buying stuff from another place. But recently the only thing I needed was toilet paper, so I did place an order through Who Gives a Crap. And the toilet paper I buy from them is from recycled materials. They do have a bamboo one, but it's actually more expensive. And I don't know, I just figured why not buy the recycled one, because of the reasons I said before. It's, you know, using materials that already exist instead of producing more bamboo, and it's cheaper, so I don't know, that's just kind of why I picked that one. But when I buy it from Thrive Marketplace, I tend to buy a bamboo one. Again, the brand I don't think matters as much as long as it's, you know, all those things we said before. It's being produced in an ethical and sustainable way. Check Earth Hero. Or Who Gives a Crap. Who Gives a Crap is cool too because they have like a whole donation program, and I believe their big thing is helping people get toilets that don't have access to them or don't have one already. Okay, so now, well, actually this one kind of goes hand in hand. I forgot, but I just want to say the same thing about tissues. I know some people who do like eco-sustainable swaps will have like a forever tissue, kind of like a handkerchief, or some people will use old t-shirts and cut them up and use those as tissues. And like, by all means, go ahead and do that if you want. I personally it's just not a swap that works for me, so it's not a swap that I'm going to do, because I think the other important thing with these things is making sure that it's a swap that actually works for you, because if it's not going to be long lasting, and therefore it's not going to be sustainable. I hope that makes sense. But I also don't go through tissues that quickly. My husband and I don't really use them. I would say we use them when we're sick, which is not all the time. So most of the time, these boxes are just kind of sitting away in the closet, and then they get pulled out when we need them, so we don't really go through them that often. And when we are buying it, I feel better about it because I am buying it from companies like Who Gives a Crap. These tissues are from Who Gives a Crap, and this is all bamboo. And then these ones are a bamboo and recycled hybrid, and these I also got from Thrive Marketplace. So just throwing that out there, there are other ways, more eco alternatives to really all the paper products that you get, especially toilet paper and tissues. Okay, the next one, again kind of in theme with the bathroom and consumables, are alternatives to flossing that are more sustainable. This is I don't know if you can hear it, but it just vibrates, and it's kind of like a pick that you would use at the dentist would use on you, and this just helps remove plaque, whatever, helps clean your teeth. And then these both are made out of different materials, but they're both made out of floss, or materials for floss that is just more sustainable. Again, I think a lot of floss that you wouldn't really buy at the store is made of like plastics, and this is just made of more natural materials. It's going to break down, and I bought it like this. I mean, it was just in a little paper packaging that I was able to compost pretty easily. And then I have this little jar. This jar is actually from the company Public Goods, but this floss I got from Thrive Marketplace or Earth Hero. I don't remember now, but either one of those. But I can put these into this container, and this is kind of like my keep forever container, especially instead of buying like those individual pickers or buying the rolls of the floss that come in those little plastic those like little plastic containers that they typically come in. So I find that this works in combination with this, and we have to floss our teeth. We don't really have much of an option, so I feel good about doing what I can to make it more sustainable. I will say I have not bought a water flosser, like a water pick. That is a really great alternative too, but keep in mind that if you don't already have one, you have to go buy one, and every item that you buy has an impact on this planet. So I would say if you are going to buy one, just really think about it before you do. Maybe, I don't know, I was gonna say buy one secondhand, which sounds kind of gross, but you could clean it. Like, you could definitely clean it. Yeah, just really consider it, because what's not going to be sustainable is if you buy it and then you never actually even use it. It's kind of like what I was talking about before. Do the thing that works for you. So I just haven't bought one, not necessarily because I don't think I would use it, but I don't know. So far, like, what I'm doing now works for me, so I'm not going to spend the money and put the demand to produce more items that I don't know, don't really have a need for it right now. But it is just another thing that I wanted to mention, because it's something that you can consider. And this brings us to the end of our video, so let's talk about our little action. This one's not really, I feel like I say this every time, so I'm just going to stop myself there. But I have been, especially lately, because electricity rates are so high right now, that I especially have been making such a huge effort to shut everything off that I am not using. Like, lights, of course, always, but other things too that I'm just not, like appliances. I will try and unplug pretty much every appliance that I can that I'm not using. So I think the only appliances that are plugged in all the time are the fridge, of course, and then the oven too, because you can't really pull an oven out every time you want to use it. But other than that, like toaster, microwave, keep it unplugged when you're not using it. I know it's like such a small thing, but there are actually plenty of studies that do show that it can make a difference. And especially like what I was saying right now, when the rates are so high. The other thing is, like, even our TV, like Xbox router, we have a whole slew of things that are plugged into like a power strip thing. So even sometimes, not all the time, because I don't always remember, but as like if my husband and I are both leaving the house for the day, I'll even just like flip that off, because we're gonna be gone all day. We don't need the Wi-Fi on all day. We don't need, like, I know the TV and the Xbox, they're not on, but they're still, like, it's still using power. So I'll shut that off. Just anything like that. Yeah, just trying to conserve energy as much as possible. And like I said, it'll save you money too. So yeah, like I said before, I don't know why more people don't want to live a more sustainable lifestyle, because it really does save you money at the end of the day. But with all that being said, again, I just hope that this video got you thinking a little bit more, and, you know, maybe you got to add another thing to the list of the next time you go to buy something, just a little swap you can do to live a little bit more of an eco-friendly life. And until next time, have a great week, everyone.